You are listening to Single Smart Female. This is Jen, explaining the possibilities in your love life and examining your mantourage dating experiences. I am here to help you do life and love on your terms by tipping the scales of love permanently in your favor. So don't forget to text this episode to all of your single smart girlfriends, and let's get started. Hello, lover girl. It's your romantic fairy godmama, and today I have a single smart female listener question for you. Now, this listener question comes all the way from Buffalo, New York, and Miss Craving Metaphors writes, Dear Jen, should I reach out to someone I deleted out of my life who I thought started to ghost me and blamed his learning disability, having ADD, for not always replying to me? He never starts to text me. I text him first always, and he speaks in metaphors all of the time. Okay, first off, I can't even begin to tell you, Miss Craving Metaphors, how much I appreciated this submission. I actually laughed out loud, so thank you. Thank you so much for that. Wow, somebody who writes in metaphors all the time. That is special. Okay, so before I get started and telling you how to address this, actually, the overall arching answer is only, and I mean only, should you reach out to him if you have developed a thriving mantourage. If you haven't, that's where you start. Nothing else. You develop your thriving mantourage first. If you need help with that, go to mantouragedating.com, and I'll give you a free 3-day class to work on and get started. Now, once you develop your thriving mantourage, okay, so I'm sorry, I'm still giggling. To me, if I had been dating somebody like this, would have been so much fun and so amusing to date somebody who only responds in metaphors via text. Okay, with that said, I would only reach out to him in metaphors. And so I did some painstaking, deep research on Google, and I came across a lot of people have published these, but these are metaphors from high school students. And you could just randomly send a metaphor to start a conversation again and see what happens. A lot of people have done posts on these, but it's bloggingbistro.com/similes-and-metaphors. You could just Google that, by the way. So these are metaphors and similes that were written by high school students that I found hilariously amusing. Okay, so for instance, her face was a perfect oval, like a circle that had its two sides gently compressed by a thigh master. His thoughts tumbled in his head, making and breaking alliances, like underpants in a dryer without cling-free. This one really got me. She had a deep, throaty, genuine laugh, like that sound a dog makes just before it throws up. I'm like, oh, that's horrible. Anyway, okay, so let me get to a few more. These were, again, made me laugh out loud. These would be so much fun to send somebody like this. And by the way, you don't have to just send it to somebody who always talks in metaphors. You can send it to anyone just for fun. Here's a good simile. Her vocabulary was as bad as, like, whatever. He was deeply in love. When she spoke, he thought he heard bells, as if she were a garbage truck backing up. These are hilarious. High schoolers are so funny. Okay, this one got me too. He was as lame as a duck. Not the metaphorical lame duck either, but a real duck that was actually lame. Maybe from stepping on a landmine or something. All right, y'all get that I have a really weird sense of humor, but I already know that about me. But there's, again, just Google them, funny metaphors, things like that you could just send people sometimes. It's just random stuff. Don't do it all the time, especially if it's somebody that you really like. But it is funny. And if somebody does something like that, and they have this pattern of always answering in metaphors or always contacting you in metaphors, then always respond to them in metaphors and have some fun with it and see what happens. A lot of times they'll start to get the hint and they'll stop. But who knows? Maybe they're doing it on purpose. But the other thing I want to tell you, moving on from metaphors, which again, thank you, that was so much fun, is you need to start online dating. In your submission, you said that the only way you meet people is from random friends of friends, work, and at bars, which, honestly, you're going to meet the love of your life. It could be absolutely anywhere. But if you really want to address mantourage dating and get a thriving mantourage, you need to do online dating properly and put together a well thought out profile, and engage from there. Have, a few weeks of engagement, maybe even 3 weeks of engagement before you go out on a first date, and up the quality of dates that you are having. That's really important. Now, I want to make it clear when we're talking about communication, I do not recommend that you be the person who reaches out all of the time, unless this is somebody that's, low rent and it's not somebody that's of any consequence to you and you're just messing with or playing with in a fun way, like sending them random hilarious metaphors. Otherwise, if this is somebody that you're really truly interested in, he should be contacting and reaching out to you. Now, as for the excuse of having ADD or learning disability, look, I totally acknowledge that those things exist, but they are not excuses in love and romance. It's a lazy way, even if he's very challenged. And I know because my husband has ADD as well, but there are brilliant people in this world that have these learning disabilities, and it doesn't mean they're not capable. They do workarounds if they need it. So for instance, maybe if they're not interested in texting or whatnot, but when somebody's genuinely interested in you, a male, they will reach out and they will initiate. Otherwise, you're not of high importance to them yet. Doesn't mean you can't become that. But again, I don't recommend on a regular basis that if this is somebody you truly want to be interested in you, that you're the one that's always initiating, because it really kind of screws with the male-female dynamic. And again, that's not to say it has to be this way. Jen says it has to be perfect all the time. I can never reach out to him. But I will tell you, it makes for a better pursuing energy and lets you learn things about yourself that you're not the one that always has to fix and initiate all the time. And you deserve that if you want to become an adored woman. Okay, lover girl, it's time for the final thought on today's show. If you are the one who always reaches out to him, then you are not a high priority yet. But you are not likely to become a priority if you continue to always initiate. Hey again, lover girl. Don't forget to subscribe to the show in your favorite podcast app, as well as share this episode with all of your single smart girlfriends. And if you are truly ready to tip the scales of love permanently in your favor, then meet me over at secretsocietyofAdoredWomen.com to schedule your application interview to work with me directly. See you there.